Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we have a tank versus tank. We haven't actually done a video like this for a very, very long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare two very, very similar tanks, look at the stats for both tanks, and then decide which I think is a better tank to get. So, of course, we're looking at the IS-5 versus the Obj 252U. They look very, very similar. They play very, very similar. They've got the same attributes pretty much. They've got pretty much the same kind of armor profile. But what tank is better to have? Now, I do think that the Obj 252U looks better, especially with the camouflages, the legendary camouflages. But the IS-5 is unique, and it is kind of one of a kind. So let's have a look at both tanks side by side to see which one is better according to the stats. So we're going to use blitz stars to compare both tanks. We're going to run the same equipment and see what is better. So first things first, the the IS-5, the standard round is APCR. With Obj 252U, the standard round is AP. So the difference with that is the Obj 252U, the premium round, of course, is APCR. Now, with APCR and with heat, obviously, sometimes APCR is better, sometimes heat is better. But as you can see, the penetration on the heat can be better, especially that you can run calibrated shells and you get more pen with the calibrated shells. So standard, as you can see, the penetration values is much better on the IS-5, but we're going to just use the standard equipment, the standard shells. So straight off the bat, the DPM on the IS-5 is a little bit better, about 100 better, in fact, than the Obj 252U. Penetration is slightly better on the standard round for the Obj 252U, but as we've just seen with premium rounds, it is actually better on the IS-5. Now, you have a 400 alpha gun on the IS-5, but you do have a 420 alpha on the Obj 252U. The rate of fire is better with the IS-5 at 5.09 against 4.6 of the 252U. Reload, again, is about a second and a half better on the IS-5. They both run a 122 caliber gun. The shell velocity is much better on the IS-5 as well. Aim time is exactly the same. The dispersion is better on the IS-5. As you can see, all these is a little bit better on the Obj 252U. The gun depression, you get an extra degrees of gun depression on the Obj 252U. Now, the speed, IS-5 is better by literally 7 kilometers per hour. So that's 42 kilometers per hour on the IS-5. Moving down, we have armor. Now, 201 on your turret for the IS-5, but you get 250 on the Obj 252U, and of course the hull is slightly better on the Obj 252U as well. So yeah, those are the basic stats. We can see here the last 90 days, more people are performing better on the Obj 252U than they are the IS-5, and that's pretty much almost every stat. So the win rate, the damage ratio, the average killed, the kill-death ratio, they are all better on that Obj 252U. And apart from average spots, yeah, it doesn't look good for the IS-5 according to actual people's gameplay. Survival rate is much, much better. Around the same amount of players. I mean, there's not too much different with players either. 1,038 against the 1,186. So let's get into game and we'll talk about both tanks and which tank I prefer. So personally, I probably do prefer the Obj 252U. I just feel that the armor profile is better. It does feel better than the IS-5. And of course, when it was first released into the game, everybody was talking about the object, you know, everybody. When the IS-5 was first released into the game, not many people were actually talking about it because of how good the tank is. They were talking about it for different reasons, which we will get on about when we get to the tank. Of course, they are both Russian, you know, they both have the armor, they both have the troll armor where sometimes you bounce, sometimes you don't. And when you're not trying to bounce, you get a bounce. When you do try and get a bounce, you're just nowhere near, just like this Super Hellcat. Now, I am trying to go in at an angle, because of course, if you look directly at a tank, actually, to be fair, I'm probably playing this wrong. If you look directly at a tank, they do have your lower plate, but if you start to angle, then your pike nose on both tanks does start to become weaker. So it's very, very difficult to play the tanks, because you just don't know how to play. You don't know if you should angle. You don't know if you should just go straight on. To be honest, you should really go straight on and just wiggle a little bit, you know. Don't just sit there so they can aim at your lower plate very, very easy. You want to make it difficult for them. And of course, the Obj 252U, with it having the 420, the standard round, it doesn't matter too much. Like, there's not a massive difference. It's that premium round, you know. When you've got a 400 alpha gun, your premium rounds, you're always going to get less than sort of 400. But with this, you do have that chance to get higher damage than the 400, and the same, I suppose, with the standard round. I mean, most of your shots will be above that 400 mark because you got the 420. Whereas the IS-5, you do have the. I mean, there's going to be often where you do a lot less than 400. And again there, 476, which I don't think is too bad. So overall, I definitely prefer the Obj 252U over the IS-5. But yes, there is actually a but in all this. Which tank would I recommend you guys getting? Now, this is where we change it. Now, with the Obj 252U, it doesn't come for, I mean, it does come for sale quite often, but it's not that dear. I don't think it's that like expensive when it does come for sale. However, with the IS-5, obviously it's completely different because it's never been in the shop. So the best thing with the IS-5 is anyone is able to get it at pretty much any time. You just need to do your clan, you know, get to level 10 in your clan suppliers, and then you're able to get the tank for just 1,500 gold. Yes, that is all this tank will cost you, and you can get it whenever you want. With the object, you have to wait. You have to make sure that you've got enough gold on your account to be able to get it. You're looking probably around 8,000 gold, maybe around 10,000 with the camouflages. But with this tank, just tier 10. I mean, most people have got tier 10 clan suppliers, and if you're not in a clan and you are up to tier 10, just join a clan. You know, just join any random clan, hoping that they are up to tier 10 or level 10 or whatever it is. And then you're able to get this tank for just 1,500 gold. It's one of the cheapest tier 8s, or if not, it is actually the cheapest tier 8 Blitz has ever had. So that's why I would probably recommend the IS-5, because it is cheaper. You're able to get it at any time, and for a tank that's 1,500 gold, it isn't half bad. You know, it's not like really bad. The only thing with this tank, because it does have that 400 alpha, then I mean, you just see that shot there. We've done 388, so we're doing below the 400 mark. So that's the only really massive sort of negative thing I have about this tank. Armor profile wise, yeah, if you're not angled correctly, or if you're not in sort of a hold down position, you're not going to bounce too much. Most of your bounces will become like a lucky bounce. It'll be more of a lucky bounce than actually playing for the bounce. But let me know your thoughts. Like, what tank do you prefer? Most people does have both tanks, to be fair. Most people nowadays does have an IS-5 just because of how cheap it actually is and how easy it is to get, especially if you've been playing for a long time. So let me know your thoughts. What tank do you prefer, the IS-5 or the Object 252U. Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With